This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Friday, May 19th, 2023, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. Now, in today's episode, I will speak with Bill Northey. He is the CEO at the Agribusiness Association of Iowa, and I spoke with Bill at a recent 3-day design sprint to work on a new tool that will help farmers with nitrogen fertilizer rate decisions. Also going to have a check of the ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined now by Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net for our closing analysis. Kaden, what did we see take place in the grain markets today?
Yeah, it looked like early on today on Friday, we're going to close the week on a decent note. We had July corn up 15, beans up double digits as well. And then, between 9:30 and 10, everything kind of just flipped to its head. Beans wind up down 30 off the high, corn 20 off the high. My board went from all green to all red. So kind of a sour taste in our mouth going into the weekend for sure.
So, Kaden, what was driving that positive news early, do you think? Was that just kind of the natural conclusion of a week where it seemed like we were stuck in the red a lot? We were just due for, I guess, a little bit of a bounce back?
Yeah, I kind of feel like going into today, we kind of see that, kind of see some profit taking fund-wise, whenever corn's down 33 cents on the week, beans down 83 now, you kind of expect to maybe get a little bit back on Friday and kind of feel like we were headed that way. And then it seemed like kind of about the time Jerome Powell spoke, that thing kind of flipped on its head. Like I said, beans went first and kind of took corn with it. So, we'll see Monday where we come out, but definitely not a great close today.
Kaden, two of the bigger stories this week in international news, we had those cancellations from China, and then also we did get the last-minute extension of the Black Sea grain deal. I believe they extended that for 2 more months now that will be open. What have we seen any effects from those pieces of news yet? Do you think any of that was built in already?
I think the bigger news of the two is the cancellations in China, just because, every time a boat gets canceled, then in theory, that just gets added onto our carryout, and then, that gets added to 23 carryout as well. So it kind of hurts you both ways. Black Sea deal, I think, it's been in the news so much, they keep doing these little 2-month extensions. I feel like maybe the market's a little bit more immune to that news as opposed to the China cancellations, but both news for sure.
And Kaden, what's been the story today on the livestock side of the market?
Yeah, really the only winner today, beef feeder cattle. They were down a couple bucks earlier, going to close about 50 cents higher, around 235. So that's really the bigger winner of the day. Fat cattle up 25 cents or so. Hogs, on the other hand, continue to get crushed, down over $2, hovering around 83. Kind of in the aftermath of Prop 12 from last week. So same story that we've been singing here for a while. Cattle doing decent, doing pretty good, and hogs continue to just get crushed.
And then, Kaden, thinking just big picture, we are finally, out of the tail end of spring. We're getting some great weather, some good weather for planting, for farming, but also then hopefully maybe a little bit of demand built in for getting the grills out and getting people, I guess, active in enjoying some of those great products here in the United States. Do you think that is a possibility? We will see a little bit of a bump as we do start to see the weather warm up.
Yeah, typically, this is a pretty good time demand-wise for beef and pork both. So yeah, you would think you'd see some demand come in. Like I've said before, I think the bigger picture livestock-wise and cattle-wise is the short supply. But of course, any demand that you got on top of that would be a good thing.
Kaden Sweeney, our guest here today for our closing market analysis. Kaden, thank you so much for the analysis. What's the best way for our viewers to get in touch and maybe personalize their marketing plan?
Yeah, just go to our website, agmarket.net. You can reach any of our brokers from that page. You can also get signed up to kind of start getting our intel, our research for free, and kind of see if we're a good fit. But yeah, like you said, great time to be building a marketing plan as we go forward in 23.
Kaden Sweeney, our guest today here on AMPM. Kaden, thank you so much for the time, and we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
That was Kaden Sweeney with agmarket.net. Let's turn our attention now to the closing numbers, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. July corn down 3/4 of a cent at 5.54 1/2. New crop December corn down 1 even at 4.99 3/4. July soybeans down 26 even at 13.07 1/4. New crop November soybeans down 11 1/2 at 11.75 1/2. August soybean meal down $5.90 at 4.02 August soybean oil down 6 cents at 47.35. Chicago wheat down 7 1/2 at 6.17 even. Minneapolis wheat down 23 3/4 at 8.07 even. Kansas hard red wheat down 30 even at 8.15 1/2. And September oats down 15 1/4 at 3.25 even. On the Merc, June live cattle up 20 cents at 165.72. August feeder cattle up 60 cents at 235.10. June lean hogs down $2.27 at 83.02. June pork cutout down 67 cents at 88.22. And Class 3 milk up 2 cents at 16.20. And that's been a check of the Ag Market Recap here on Ag Matters PM. It's time now to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, I will be joined by Bill Northey, the CEO at the Agribusiness Association of Iowa. This is AMPM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today I am joined by Bill Northey, the CEO of the Agribusiness Association of Iowa. We spoke at a recent 3-day design sprint to work on a new tool that will help farmers with nitrogen fertilizer rate decisions. Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm here with Bill Northey today from the Agribusiness Association of Iowa. He is the CEO. Bill, an exciting project here at hand. We're at the Iowa Pork Producers Association, and we've got a collaborative group effort between employees of Google, some very smart students from Iowa State University, and then also some farmers, some producers in the room to try and help tell them what they need when it comes to reducing nutrient use, nitrogen use, and adapting a plan then that can be used in an app to help individual farmers reach that goal. What did you think of just the effort you saw from the last 3 days?
You know, I think none of us could have envisioned how it was all going to flow together. Maybe the Google folks know, as they have done some of these processes before, but we sat together Monday, a lot of people having a lot of individual knowledge, but the Googlers didn't know anything about farming at that point, and we were talking them through, what decisions a farmer has to make, what challenges there are to managing nitrogen on a farm. And of course, the rest of us had to figure out how to put something together in a way that could be the best way for a farmer to be able to use this information. I think we have one of the most interesting projects in the country to figuring out something that farmers care a lot about, and that's nitrogen management. We know we want not to buy any more than we have to grow our crop, but the challenge is we don't even know how much that is every year because it depends on the weather, it depends on different cropping systems and other things that are going on, and how do we get that information to a farmer in a way that they can use it. A very interesting 3 days, great stuff. Certainly everybody has a vision of some ways to be able to put that in the hands of farmers.
And really, Bill, it comes down as well to a very personalized approach for an individual farmer. It looked like some of the plans will eventually even be optimized for individual fields of different farmers.
That's right. And so a farmer can put in their own field. They'll be able to pull up their soil types and look at that because some soils have more organic matter than other soils. It's labeled in a year where that organic matter releases some nitrogen, mineralizes. You can grow a crop. You wouldn't need as much nitrogen in that field to grow the same crop that you need in a different field. And so farmers are able to do that. They're also able to look at what previous crops were there. So whether it's corn on corn or corn on soybeans, that takes a different nitrogen rate. Maybe it takes a different rate too in the summer if you put it on last fall or you put it on with a planter. And so it's a way to be able to keep track of what happened during the year. And each farmer will end up with a different recommendation likely than the farmer next to him, and maybe from field to field being different too.
And Bill, when you first got involved in this project, or at least learning about it, was it something that was suggested to all of the people in this room from an outside source? Was it someone in here that said, hey, this is something that farmers could really use?
Well, some of that happened before the actual nitrogen initiative, before I even was involved. But the farm groups really came together and said, what is one of the most important needs out there for farmers? And that's better recommendations for nitrogen in a way that could be useful for farmers. So the farm groups got together, spent some money to be able to put a prototype together. Iowa State was part of putting that prototype together and said, we need better recommendations. Then bringing the Google folks in happened because they were interested in being involved and being supportive of Iowans and some of the things we're doing. We said, hey, we got something. How about this? How about figuring out, once this information gets to where it needs to be, that it can be shared, how about we get some help in what would the user interface be, that piece that allows a producer to make it work on their own farm. And so they thought it sounded great. We'll put 30 people in a room on Monday, and out on Wednesday you come up with a plan on how an app could be developed within the next year with some basic information about how to better manage nitrogen.
And as you said, it's still the planning stage, is still kind of the outline for what the app would look like. But when you got to the end there, Bill, did that look like something that could very much be viable to a farmer? Was that something that you said, hey, I could use that? I think that would be very useful.
Yeah, it really does. And the best part is the farmers in the room all could discuss, I want this, I want that. One of the questions was, okay, logically folks said farm 1, farm 2, farm 3, and everyone said, I need that to be the name that I use on that farm. And the name likely is who used to own it. And we all have those ways of knowing our farms. And that was a farmer saying, this is how it's more useful. And they created the pieces that we're taking out of this by their own experience. And I think it would be very useful.
Bill Northey, our guest here today. Bill, thank you so much for the time. It was a fun process to see. Again, I just came at the very end and I was impressed. I'm sure you're kind of in the same boat as me.
I am. It was a great process. Thank you.
That was Bill Northey, the CEO at the Agribusiness Association of Iowa. Let's turn our attention now to the Ag Weather Outlook. After a little bit of a wild weather pattern at the tail end of last week into the start of this week, we've closed out this week with a relatively quiet weather pattern, and that continues today as we've had partly to mostly sunny skies around the state. There is a little bit of haziness in the air as we are dealing with some of the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. Tonight, we will have decreasing cloud cover, mostly clear, and then tomorrow should be a beautiful day with sunny skies across the state. So let's turn our attention now to the National Weather Service and what's in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, a nice day today, but a little bit cooler temperatures, partly to mostly sunny skies, and there is a little bit of smoke in the air, some smoky skies, as the Canadian wildfires have some smoke residue drifting down into the United States. Tonight, we will have decreasing clouds, mostly clear skies around the state of Iowa, and then tomorrow, sunny skies statewide. Should be a beautiful day here in the state. And now taking a look at our affiliate weather map for Saturday, a similar story around the state of Iowa as we will have sunny skies statewide. Cherokee, a high of 73. Shenandoah, a high around 74. Des Moines, high temperature around 73 on Saturday. Albia, a high of 72. Waterloo, sunny skies and 73. Clinton, sunny with a high around 73. For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, make sure and check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook. That also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find all of our video content and previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. And don't forget our free twice daily market podcast that are found on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. On behalf of Riley Smith and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.